Welcome back to Ron's Radio Corner. And I'm shooting this video about the ATS-20 Plus because the one I have, which I think I might have commented on a video that I shot recently, has developed this little bit of a pulsing noise that you could hear there. Now, if I put this on something like FM,
it won't be much.
It's really not so noticeable. And I'm trying to figure out, oh, there, just started again. So what I've noticed is when I got this somewhere in mid-January, it didn't do this. There was no pulsing noise. I had done a video on it. I know somebody had commented that when I put the video out there that they had that pulsing noise at startup. And I'd have to go back and read. I don't remember if I commented at that time that mine had started doing that, or if mine started doing it after that after I read that comment. But at first it didn't make that pulsing noise. Then I noticed that it would do it on startup and the noise would disappear. Now it seems like the noise just likes to stay there. You don't really hear it on FM. It's a lot more prominent on shortwave and AM. The interesting thing is, at first I had no idea what was causing it. None at all. And then after doing quite a bit of reading and digging around, not the easiest thing to kind of search ATS-20 plus pulsing sound and, to get any, any search results that actually meant anything. But I stumbled across someone saying that they had that same issue and it had to do with the on-off switch. And that they sprayed this with some contact cleaner and the noise went away. So, unfortunately, I can't quite say that I've had the same results. But what I will say is, if I spray this with some contact cleaner, and let me just kind of do this off camera here. I spray this with some contact cleaner. I've done this a few times. The noise does go away. I've sprayed it in there, and I have actually taken the case apart and tried to spray the switch from the other direction. And suddenly, the noise isn't there. And interestingly, I have sprayed this in and then let the radio play for maybe a good half hour and never had the noise, that pulsing return. But then I'll step away, come back to it an hour later or a day later, and that pulsing's there again. Like I said, I've taken the cover off and tried to spray the switch from how I could get to it from inside. I've just literally taken the little nozzle and kind of gone in there and shot at it and tried to see if I could figure it out, not figure it out, but I tried to see if I could sort of shoot enough of the contact cleaner to figure out what was causing the pulsing noise. I've heard in that one write-up when someone said they hit the contact cleaner that they noticed if they just maneuvered the switch just right, that the noise wasn't there. So I don't know what it is about the power switch, and I'm not sure how many other people have had this issue. But I kind of wanted to sort of point out, it's a little disappointing, right, to get a radio, even though it's inexpensive, and have something kind of like this pulsing noise sort of make the radio not necessarily unusable, but certainly it's not, it's not enjoyable to use it that way. It's not optimal. I bought this off of Amazon, tried to reach back out to the seller. Unfortunately, my return window had ended. I ordered this in December, didn't get it till mid-January. I think my return window ended like in the first week of February. And I don't know if it was doing any of that until after the window was through. I tried to reach out to the seller to see if they had any guidance, not realizing it was a switch at that point, and wondering if there was a setting or something that maybe I had inadvertently hit that was causing that pulsing, something that it was picking up that maybe I could adjust and kind of eliminate that pulsing noise. Couldn't figure out how to reach out to the seller. Went to Amazon, and that took a little more work than it should have. Just, I think today, everything is routed through some sort of technology, so you don't talk to people anymore. You fill out forms, you do chats with an AI or something that's supposed to be AI. But finally, I was working with somebody or had some customer service team that was trying to reach out to the seller on my behalf, and then they told me basically that the seller wasn't responding back to them. So I do not want to make this sound like I'm down on the radio. I'm very disappointed in this experience, but I'm still rather enamored with the radio itself. I mean, it's kind of tricky because my thoughts on the ATS-20 Plus is that for the price, particularly if you're getting it for like $30, and the price seems to be all over the map on it. If you're getting it for that price and you want to take the time, which I haven't done, to sort of figure out the learning curve, I think there's an awful lot that this little radio can do. You can hear, well, I'm not sure if that's loud enough for you to hear, but that pulsing hasn't started at all. But tomorrow morning I'll turn this radio on and it'll be pulsing. So I think the reality is it's a radio that certainly offers an awful lot of bang for your buck if you're willing to figure out how to use it. And that pulsing issue must be something that's infrequent, because I'm not reading this comment all over the place in reviews on it. I mean, there are people who really like this radio, and then there's others who don't. But I'm not reading that sort of complaint. So I would say if you pick up one of these and you get that pulsing noise, I guess my first thing is if you get one of these, try to use it as much as possible within a return window if you're getting it through somebody like Amazon. So if there's any issues, you can find them out as quickly as possible. If you're outside of that return window and you get that pulsing noise, it might be worth trying some contact cleaner. It does make the noise go away for me, but it's a temporary solution. So outside of that, I'm not ready to kind of pop it into frame just now, but I have picked up yet another shortwave radio, and my very short amount of time of having the two side by side was interesting, because everything I could pick up on that one, and I can't say it was like an extensive test, but everything I could pick up on that one, I was picking up on this one. Which just leads me to believe that, for your average shortwave radios, I guess unless you're buying something really phenomenal, I'm not, so far this seems to compare to every other shortwave radio I have. If I can bring the XH Data D219 and I can find channels on that and then go and find them on this. Of course, this does single sideband, which that does not. Like I said, I just picked up another shortwave radio and just doing some simple shortwave sort of scans. Everything I could pick up on that one, I was picking up on this. So I think it can be a capable little performer and a lot of fun to play with. A little disappointed about that pulsing issue that I have with this one. And I would love it if I could. I would love it if I had another one to play around with to see if I just, I guess, sort of didn't luck out and got one with maybe a bad switch or something. Or if there's more issues with these things, then maybe you read, right? I mean, you get a lot of people who are buying these things are sort of low price, and maybe they expect these things not to be perfect. And I think some people are very comfortable with opening these things up and maybe dealing with replacing a faulty switch or a bad solder connection or something along those lines. I'm not. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. There's not much heavy duty lifting I'm going to do to fix it. So that's kind of where I'll leave this. ATS-20 plus pulsing issue, right? If you've experienced it, if you have one of these and you've experienced it, let me know, because I have to tell you, when it started happening here, I just had the one commenter on one of my posts that mentioned it, so I knew other people had had the issue. I wasn't the only one. But then when I came across, I'll try to find the article and share it here, when someone said the on and off switch, I was like, wow, okay, I wonder if it really is. Hit it with a little contact cleaner. It went away. I thought, awesome, it's solved. Next day I turned it on, the noise was there again. Tried again to hit it with a little contact cleaner. Worked the switch back and forth several times. Thought, okay, let's see now. Came back to it a while later, and there it was again. Took the top cover off, sprayed it from the inside, trying to see if I could, I guess if I hit it with enough contact cleaner, could I solve the problem once and for all? Could I take care of a dirty contact or whatever the issue is? And so far, it doesn't seem like I can. I hit it with contact cleaner, and it temporarily fixes the problem, but it does come back. And kind of curious if anybody else has had that, had that sort of, either that pulsing noise, or if they've done anything that's gotten rid of, being able to really kind of cure the issue, not just temporarily. And again, it really doesn't make me, it doesn't diminish my enthusiasm for what I think you can get out of this radio if you can buy it for the right price and hopefully get one that works. But buyer beware. Make sure you're really using this thing, and hopefully you can notice any issues with it quickly enough where you can return it if you're buying it from a platform where you get a return option. So we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching.